Hello, and we're here back with a new episode of No Jokes. Marcus, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Amos. Yes, no joke. And of course, just to trigger our progressive culture warriors, Merry Christmas, everyone, or Happy Holidays, or whatever. I hope you guys enjoy the time. And yes, and you are safe at home wherever you are right now. And welcome to the show, and thank you, Amos. Let's see who is with us so far. We have, of course, Al is with us. Hey, Al, how are you doing? Cyrus is here from Tulsa. We have Barbara Bartleson. Hey, Barbara. And thank you for joining us. And I hope you'll enjoy the show. We have a lot. Oh, and there's already Dan. Dan is with us, and Dan is bringing us a first donation. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Merry Christmas, Dennis. And we got a lot in the show today, but there's one little drop, which John is not with us today. He was supposed to be here with us, and we talked to him a little bit earlier before, but regarding KORC Radio, I gotta tell you that there would be a delay. We have to deal with Christmas, we have to deal with a pandemic, and also the enterprises which are connected with it. And in this case, I think it was an electrician, right? Who was not at the appointment date available, and so it would be delayed. We hope to launch it the beginning of January, and yes, so John will definitely be with us, as soon as we are starting it, and he will give you then first-hand information on it. And well, another week, it's the Christmas week, and what can I say? Lots of things happened, and I also rethought what happened last week on the show, and I was talking about the campaign which was forced by Jimmy Dore, Force the Vote. You heard my opinion on it, but you heard also the criticism on Jimmy Dore, that he might have been in his tone a little bit more polite and not so brutally. Well, I thought about it the whole week, and I got to tell you that my view on this changed. There are several factors which led me to rethink it. Last week, I spoke from the perspective of a German. And as a German, I don't have to care much about my healthcare. In case I got sick, I don't have to set up my mind what would happen with my work, with my house, with my apartment, or whatever. I don't have those threats, which would make it more difficult to recover from a sickness. All this is nothing I have to worry about. And we have our healthcare. We started our healthcare system in the late 19th century, and we are close to 2021, and you guys don't have nearly nothing of this, and more and more people are be thrown over the cliff, in this crisis times, in the pandemic times. It is absolutely crazy, and I can I was trying to think myself into an American, into a working American, being confronted with this, and I can tell you, I can understand everyone who steps up, opens his window, and shouts out loud that he's fed up with this shit, that he or she demands Medicare for all, because it is absolutely, yes, it is unexplainable to anyone in the world that you guys don't have it. And what did we see in the past? We saw it in the polite way, to do it in the polite way, like Bernie. In a he always came up and referred to this topic, but that's it. and we have to fight for this, you know. And those people who are not in a position of power, because there are now minimum 15 so-called progressives, and if those people don't take care that this is being brought on the table, you know, for a vote, then I'm asking myself, what is the reason that those people are in office at all? And in this case, I'm referring to AOC, because she is, if you want, so the poster woman of this movement. You know, I know that she has to take a lot of pressure, but to put it maybe in an American thinking, you know, her constituents voted her to be their soldier, you know, their soldier in the war in the House of Representatives, you know, to go to fight for them, you know. And if you don't see this fight, even not in the middle of a pandemic, if you see progressives are hesitant, you know, that they say we got to wait for a chance or whatever, you know, no, you waited already too long. And if you are not willing to stand up and fight, then we got to push you. And if we cannot push you in every certain way, in every way possible, then we have to take care that you get voted out again and be replaced. And so long until we got a soldier who is willing to fight, you know, who is willing to take up the political weapons, you know, to fight for the people, you know. And if you don't do this in the middle of a pandemic, then I can only call it cowardice, you know. And if you complain about being called names, that's absolutely not what's it about, you know. We tried it friendly, nothing happened, you know. We are in the middle of a pandemic, people are dying, you know. It's not numbers, it's people, you know. And this, if not now, when? And if you don't do anything, yes, I can understand that people are desperate and they're calling you names, you know. And you don't should complain about this or try to ignore it, because I think it's it is desperation which led the people to do this, you know. And well, I'm absolutely on Jimmy Dore's side, and I don't think I have to apologize to Jimmy, but I think I should tell you, you know, after rethinking for 1 week, how my feelings are meanwhile, you know. And as I said, it is a crime. It is a crime. And those people that you don't have health care, and if you stay friendly to these people, you know, who are not willing for reasons I don't know to fight for you, yeah, call them out. Call them fucking out. Amos, what's your take on this? I know that you see this a little bit different, and what do you think?
No, I don't see it different. I'll expand on what I do see different, but I agree that in this situation, there's no fear of spending capital by progressives, because this is the galvanizing issue. There's 70% of Americans who are supportive of it, at the least, of Medicare for all, and among Republicans is 50%. There's really no fear that this is going to cost capital. If anything, this is a galvanizing moment that could be used to build up the progressive movements and their power, and follow like we discussed last time, follow the Tea Party model by doing so. So what I do have a problem with is some of the infighting that's been going on, and I think I have a section that we'll discuss that. I'm sure that's going to be a controversial segment, but nevertheless, I think this is the moment. in this case to push it. If not healthcare for all, not what else? Like that's the most obvious thing to mobilize over, and just go with it. And I would urge everybody to call their offices, call all of the progressives' offices, especially their own representative if you live in their state, and push them on that. Calling them out names is usually not the best method. People become cagey and respond negatively to that. I don't think it's very productive. I understand it's satisfying to yell your disagreement, and I don't know. It's not how I think what will move things forward.
Okay. Well, as I said, if you guys, take a minute after the show, sit back and rethink, what is the reason for the existence of your government? Your federal government, your state government, etc. What is the reason for it? The reason of the existence of your governments is to take care of the people, right? And now I want you to sit back again and rethink, when did your government helped you the last time? And I'm not talking about the ridiculous $1,200, All right.
I don't know what happened. Something
Suddenly
shut
the
Zoom
Zoom
off.
link disappeared.
Yeah.
And
I hope
yeah.
this doesn't reoccur. I'm not sure
We'll
what.
see.
Oops.
Yeah. Well, as I said, just sit back and think, what your government did for you in the past, in the past years, and since I follow American politics, it is astounding, that there's nearly nothing, nothing really strong which your government gave you. I only see there is one art of customers they have, and you all know what I'm talking about, the big corporations and stuff, those other people get served, and this is why I think we got to push so much pressure on everyone, until we get our targets delivered, because I think if they don't follow their job, their job description, what they were voted for, well, then they should fear us. They should be afraid. And in a negative example, the Tea Party showed, you said it last week, Amos, right? The
Yep.
Tea Party showed how things can work if you put pressure on them. And it doesn't matter if you call anyone names or not. It's the pressure which counts, because it's about the thing itself. And anyone who cannot stand up and say clearly, I will fight for Medicare for all, and give his signature below this bill, well, then you know exactly that this guy needs competition, the next opportunity, right? He or she got to get voted out and be replaced. Well, this is what I have to say, to my segment last week. As I say, Jimmy Dore is right. The tone doesn't matter. It's about the thing, the importance of Medicare for all itself. And anything else, any criticism is only a stylistic device. We got to show them it's over. We don't want to read tweets anymore, smart tweets. We want to see action. Okay. Amos, anything? Okay. Yeah, please show the two videos I selected for today, where you can see again what Jimmy has to say.
I'm telling you, people, the rest of the free world is stunned at how our government has done almost nothing for the citizens during this pandemic. I have friends in several different countries, and they're all saying the same thing. They cannot believe what they are seeing. They cannot believe what's happening in this country. Other countries are paying people $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7,000 a month. Woman wrote in yesterday. She's in Australia. She's gotten $24,000 from her government already during COVID. Already. This isn't happening in other countries, which is why I'm screaming into a webcam as loud as I can to kind of wake people up. And a lot of people want to make that into a bad thing. I'm not going to ever accept that. I'll scream as loud as I want for as long as I want. Lewis Black used to scream his
Yeah. Scream. We have our healthcare since the late 19th century. Scream. Yeah, show the next one, please.
Are you happy with her? You think you should be nicer to her, or you think we should rake her over the coals? You think you should be nicer? Do you think it would help if progressive news hosts were nicer to the progressives who are currently screwing you? Or do you think we should make them scared to fucking death? Why did AOC, Ilhan Omar, and Ayanna Pressley vote for the stimulus bill? What the fuck? Only Tulsi and Rashida voted against it. You tell me. I have the same questions.
Yes. And the question I got to raise here, if you have such a power, don't they talk to each other? Don't they have an agenda, if it comes to such votes, What I see so much confusion there, I don't see anything constructive. The one is voting this way, others are voting that way. But where is the strategy? Where is the push? Is everyone waiting for Nancy Pelosi to tell the direction where to go? Yeah. I hope they understand, the pressure which is coming now for 2 weeks, mainly coming from the side of Jimmy Dore, who initiated this. I hope they wake up over the Christmas days, over the year's change, and they would start the next year, with I don't want to say with some balls because this image would not be okay. But I want to see them fighting full force next year. They should know what's at stake. Yeah. All right. That's my take so far. I see that Melissa H. Also commented it, and I absolutely respect every opinion who sees it differently, because, well, you are Americans. You know exactly what's best for you. And Melissa H. says pushing people is great. Calling the names, attacking them personally is not. Jimmy does a lot of name calling. He does, but I see, 2021, and you still got nearly nothing. This should make everyone scream, and push and push. And everyone who's telling you that it's not the right time, fuck them. Really. They are not working for you. Yeah. All right.
Well, Marcus, I'm
please.
I'm every bit as outraged at our situation as you are, except I will get a little more into it in my segment, but I don't see it as just a matter of style or raising your voice at someone or something like that. I see it more as a more substantial issue. But we'll get into that. Okay. Did you want to mention Scott?
Exactly. This is also one aspect. When I remember back, the way, America, the American institutions, the American healthcare system said goodbye to Scott Galindez at the time where he needed the help, and they more or less told him that he's not worthy, that he has not enough money to get help. So I remember then when John, the day he contacted me, he said, I got a package from Scott, He sent me all his equipment. We gave him, to do the reports for us, when he was out at the campaigns and everywhere where he was for us, and to report, He put his health he put his own life in danger for the movement, for the progressives. He was an activist, and he got told, no, you are not worthy. You are not rich enough. And so he sent back the packages with equipment and an accompanying letter in which he said, okay, I'm leaving now. I'm going into a hospice and I'm preparing to die. Really? This makes me sick. And this is only one example, and we don't know about the 100,000 of other examples, 10,000s. All those little examples, these are all human beings. And your government, your representatives are letting you down for decades. Okay, that's all from my side.
Yeah, it's serious. I mean, it's a matter of life and death. I feel that we need to lighten the show a little bit. What do you think, Marcus?
Yes, please, yeah.
I think we need a little bit of a break. Here we go with a little song.
Yeah.
I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. 'Cause I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried. I can't get no. We can't get no. When I'm driving in my car and a man comes on the radio, he's telling me more and more about some useless information supposed to fire my imagination. Right? I can't get no. Oh, no, no, no. Hey, hey, hey. That's what I say. Hey, stop it.
Stop it.
It was incredible how they managed to get all the words for the song out of his speeches. But all right, so let me get into my issue. So I don't see it as just purely tone policing, as Jimmy Dore calls other progressives out on. I think there's a more substantial issue of tearing into progressives and tearing into them more than you would criticize the Republicans or criticize other corporate Democrats. And I think that is exactly what they would want us to do. They want us to weaken our own. They want us to splinter ourselves. And looking at some of these attacks, I don't really care if you insult someone, even though I don't think it's productive. I don't think that's the best way to go about it. But what bothers me is that you try to splinter off the tiny segment of progressives. We're a minority, and to splinter us even further off, we're going to become completely ineffectual. We need to. Those people that are in Congress are also a minority, and I don't envy their position. They're in a position where almost anything they do is a lose-lose situation. They vote on bills, we say they're selling out. They don't vote on bills, we say that they're not doing anything. And I think it's at some point you have to ask, what's our goal? I think what we need to achieve is getting to a critical mass of progressives. I don't think the progressives that are in Congress now are sellouts. I don't think they're all traitors. I think they're people who wanted to help. They're not always able to. They don't know what to do. They may be misguided in some situations, misunderstanding some situations. They may be suffering from whatever else everybody's suffering from, ego. And I think what's driving those attacks is also ego. People like Jimmy Dore and Nico House and Tim Black, I think they have egos to match, and I think that that is part of what's driving this, unfortunately. And I just wish we could work in a more collegial way, pressure those people, but stop splintering our own in calling everybody else but Tulsi Gabbard non-progressives. I don't think it leads anywhere. And that's just my opinion. And a lot of the stuff that they're saying, why I'm saying that it's beyond tone is because they're sometimes twisting the facts and presenting it in a way that just same as the mass media is doing, spinning things in a way that makes some progressives look bad because it fits their view. For example, let's look at the progressive action on the bill that we discussed, the HR 133. That's the one that was passed with the coronavirus incentive. With the stimulus, and basically it was a omnibus bill, which means that it included expenditure and other budgetary items. And if you look at the way the bill was constructed, it was basically there was a part 1 and a part 2. The part 1 was the one that contained all the different spendings, all the international aid and all that kind of stuff, all the pork. This part 2 was the one that included the COVID stimulus in great part. So, how did people vote? We heard before that the AOC and other Democrats, aside from Tulsi Gabbard and Tlaib, voted for the bill. Well, if you look, here's the first part of the bill. That's the spending bill, the spending part of the bill, and we see that there was opposition from Republicans. 85 Republicans were opposing. 21% of Democrats did. 41. Democrats and 43 Republicans opposed that bill. Among those were all the people that we discussed, the AOC, Ro Khanna, you can see all their names, Tlaib and Tulsi and Raskin, all these people, they opposed the spending bill. The second bill was the COVID relief bill. And here we had a different split. Here we had 2 Democrats that opposed it, and that was Tulsi and Rashida Tlaib. And all the rest were hardcore Republicans. They were basically people like Jim Jordan and other people, Macy. The thing is that it's misrepresenting. I mean, yeah, you could oppose both bills. You could oppose the COVID aid bill, and you could oppose the expenditure bill. But it's not exactly the same, like saying that these progressives supported the spending bill. It's just not true. So I expect honesty from these people just as much as I expect from the mass media, from main media, and that's not what I see happening. So yeah, that's basically my disappointment that we're getting into a state, and then there's things like conspiracy theories that are arising on the left. Nico House, for example, says that AOC was a plant. How he figures that out is just amazing to me. Like I can't imagine how that would make any sense to put somebody against an establishment guy just to have a plant in that can barely do anything. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But nevertheless, this stuff, there's a lot of people listening to them, and I know some of you are as well. And one has to apply a little bit more critical thinking where it comes to all sides, not just the main media, in my opinion.
If I would like to refer quickly to what you said at the beginning, being the separation of the progressives, but I don't think it's a separation, because we are discussing a point, where you cannot compromise, right? So you got to see. You can call it the litmus test, purism, whatever, But this topic, Medicare for all, is not negotiable,
It's
and
not.
there cannot be any appeasement between progressives, that we should approach it in a softer way or so, No, a progressive clearly stands on what Medicare for all means, and this means Medicare for all. And it is what you said. It is the critique. Why the critique is so harsh, You don't expect anything. You cannot expect anything from a Republican or from an establishment Democrat. You don't get surprised by what they are deciding, right? But you get hurt, You get hurt and disappointed by what progressives are doing, respectively, are not doing, And this is what causes the harsh critique, This is what I think, why Jimmy Dore and others, they are fed up, and I can understand it, and you are not used to this, but if I can only repeat myself, if a politician here in Germany would try to lay a hand on our healthcare system, in the first place, no one would dare it, because they knew they would never get voted into anything, but if someone would dare it, it would cause a revolution.
Right.
And
right.
you guys are not used to what it means to have a functioning, halfway good medical system. So you cannot miss what you don't know, But from what I see, I can tell you what I see. It's cruel, it's inhumane, and it needs to be called out.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But I come from a people that suffered historically from division, from infighting, and I know the historical implications of that. The Jews have had situations where they fought more internally, and what comes to mind is the life of Brian and the two terrorist factions they had there, the Liberation Front of Judea and the Judea Liberation Front, and they were fighting each other, and meanwhile the Romans were beating them. So it's kind of representative of things in reality, and that's what I'm thinking. Is just not. We're not heading in a good direction. I would like to re-strategize how we fight this battle. One thing here is here's a cartoon of the the polarized express, as we know. Well, it's polarized on all levels. We're polarized.
And look, we are in the middle. It's snowy there. And it seems to be cold outside. But look at the well-heated, the warm lights coming out of the Congress wagon, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but that polarization is not, as we see, it's not just between Democrats and Republicans. It's up and down. It's between Republicans who are not for spending, and Democrats or progressives who are not for spending, and like it's all kinds of cross sections that work here, and everybody is polarized.
Yeah.
And this is our
Yeah.
check. We're supposed to get soon in the mail, something to look forward to.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what strikes me is that a couple of years ago, there was this whole thing on Fox TV and like the conservative media. They were saying how Democrats were waging a war on Christmas. Well, I
Yeah.
think you could pretty much safely say that the Republicans and corporate Democrats now are waging the war on Christmas.
Absolutely.
There's nothing less Christmassy about somebody struggling in barely getting their food, losing their housing, and in the greatest crime that they've committed is by scheduling all of these bills to expire, all the rent protection and all those things are expiring before other assistance comes in. So right now, people just are still in frightened that they're going to lose their houses, lose their businesses by the end, like in March, because they made such a short-term regulation. So everybody's like completely freaked out, and that is the present that we got for Christmas.
Yes.
So yeah.
But at least, thanks to Donald Trump, we are allowed to say Merry Christmas again.
True.
Yeah.
Before we leave the subject, I wanted to cover one more thing that's kind of related to that, and that is the vote on the CARES Act. If you remember back, there was a vote. A CARES Act turned out to be a huge downfall for basically huge amount of bailouts to the corporations and the wealthy, and little to common Americans. And people were then accused for voting, like progressives were accused for not resisting it. In the clip here, you will see the actual vote in the House on that bill, the thing that sealed it. And there was a decision to do a voice vote with half a chamber filled because people were afraid of corona, or for whatever reason they had half the chamber filled. And you will see someone stepping in and trying to stop the voice vote, which is unaccountable. Nobody is accounted to. It's like you hear a few voices, and if the voices that are saying yes are overwhelming the voices that are saying no, nobody takes count of it, which in my opinion is a horrible way to govern. And this gentleman Macy from Kentucky is Tea Party style Republican who's been kind of an interesting guy, an engineer. He's trying to force them to record the vote. They don't. They overrule him. He says there's no. There may not be a quorum in the House, and they force a vote to see that there is quorum. They figure out there was, and so they quickly pass the bill by unanimous consent. You hear a few voices in the beginning that say nay, that oppose the bill, and Jimmy Dore's taken this and said he didn't hear AOC's voice in it, which is one way or another. I don't know if that would mean anything, because at that point it was lost in any case. But I for sure can't really tell. It depends on the position of the mic. I wouldn't be able to conclude that with certainty. I think I see her at the end, and if you guys can look at it and tell me if I'm right, I think she's smack in the middle there in a white dress, and let me know if that's AOC. I'll let you guys judge by yourselves what you think, but one thing that's for sure, and that is that we need more transparency. And whether that has to be done, we have the technology. We can do face recognition and computer imaging to determine the vote of individuals, even if it's a quick, non time consuming vote by voice. But we need to know how our representatives vote, and that is critical for a practical and good governing body. And this is just one of many things where we're completely, like, our system is just failing. It's not. I understand sometimes you have to move things quick.
It was made on purpose to be like that, Amos.
And that needs to change just as much as any of the other things, because it's an underlying thing. If that is indeed the case, if people are asking for those voice votes in order to hide positions, then that more so we need that transparency. So let's look at that clip here and see what you think.
All time for debate has expired. Pursuant to House Resolution 911, the previous question is ordered on the motion. The question is on adoption of the motion. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker.
For what purposes, gentlemen, seek recognition?
Mr. Speaker, I came here to make sure our republic doesn't die by unanimous consent in an empty chamber, and I request a recorded vote.
A recorded vote is requested. Those favoring a recorded vote will rise and remain standing until counted. An insufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is refused.
Mr. Speaker.
Is the gentleman recognized?
I object on the basis that a quorum is not present and make a point of order that a quorum is not present.
The chair will count for a quorum. Counted for a quorum is present. The motion is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. Pursuant to Section 7B of House Resolution 891, the House stands adjourned until 3 p.m. on Tuesday, March 31st, 2020.
Was that AOC in that white suit?
Not sure, man. Not sure.
Possibly, but what use would it make if there's a voice vote? What use would it make to do anything? Like, it's ridiculous, the whole thing.
I think they are representatives, and as a representative, in this position, everything should be on the paper and signed by name.
Absolutely.
So absolutely no vague scenarios, no conspiracy theories. We have it black on white on a paper. Who voted for what?
And this gentleman Macy, that Republican, has been doing this quite a bit. His voting record was for the tax reform, for the tax return to the wealthy, and but against spending. Almost in every instance, he opposes spending, whether it be something that's backed up by Republicans or Democrats, and even the Republicans are quite annoyed at him. Trump tweeted that he should be kicked out of the party. But he's insisting that he's doing his duty, and I can't disagree that he has a point to say that like according to the Constitution, you're supposed to vote and count votes, count, and you have to have a quorum to do so. So not having a quorum is a problem, and I don't know. I think that we have to keep pushing on all of these fronts.
Yes, and in chat we have a very, very vital discussion around this, and it is Melissa H and Jilly Love and others, peace stuff, are in a discussion, in how far Jimmy's tone was hurtful or was not hurtful. It is very interesting to read, and there's one voice, Jilly Love, for example, says, she asks the question, who is hurting more, Jimmy targets or those who need healthcare? And yeah, that's a question. On the other hand, Melissa H says, I lost so much respect for Jimmy when he completely ignored Tulsi's thoughts, came down on her with a feather when she quit and supported Joe and said, why should we care about what happens in India? And if I'm right, Tulsi was also not absolutely 100% or not at all behind the Medicare for All bill, right? Or am I wrong?
Correct. No, she withdrew
Right?
from. Yes, she withdrew.
Yes,
from it.
exactly. Yeah, so I wasn't wrong about it. And I think the discussion is good that we have it, and it's very nice to see that our chat is able to have this discussion, not in a tone, in a polite tone, where they're talking about the facts, and this is exactly what I think what we should keep for ourselves, that we should always be able to be in a discussion, to look all sides of a topic, what would be the best approach or maybe not, and also argue about it, but in the end we should know what we are standing for.
Absolutely. Yeah, we have to be very very clear of what we want to achieve and communicate that. But communicate that to leadership, to the people we put in there. Yeah.
And this means also that you got to show a backbone, they should know, the progressives, the 15 people who got elected by the constituents, they got the trust of their voters, and they got the trust of millions of others, who want to see exactly that they are fighting for what is essential for a human life, for a decent human life, and they should know that they get full support, but they also should know that they get their ass kicked if they don't, right? But it is great to see the discussion we have here in chat anyway. Yeah. Everyone has its opinion, and I think I hope that this discussion takes the moment and the movement to its targets finally.
I suspected. I was trying to think of reasons why Tulsi Gabbard was so what would you call it? Sanctified by Jimmy Dore and Nico House and stuff. And I think a lot of it had to do with her paying them attention. And I think there is an aspect of ego going in there, and I wish there wasn't. And I'm not saying this thing to attack our friends on the progressive sides, and we often agree with them, and we certainly agree with the in terms of holding Nancy's seat accountable, holding it hostage to finally doing a vote on Medicare for all, but it's I think the criticism is necessary, just as they're saying that we should not spare the feelings of politicians, we should be prepared to criticize them on the merits, on the issues, and on their actions, on their behavior.
Wow. Okay. Shall we go on? What do you think?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So there was another great news this week. You all see those gentlemen, rode up above us, Roger Stone, Paul Manafort, and Charles Kushner, right? And all are honorable men, wise guys, if you want so, in a certain way. And Trump pardoned them, right? Roger Stone, one of the most despicable persons I know in American politics, together with Paul Manafort, a guy who doesn't shy away to make deals, strange deals, very, very strange deals with dictators and other authoritarians, well, and I think the father of Jared Kushner is into tax evasion thingies.
Worse than that.
Well, I don't want to talk about those guys for a very long time. We got an article coming from BBC, and Paul Manafort, he was not even in jail in the past month. He was incarcerated at home. And well, it is a different, if you're living in a cell and if you're living in a comfortable mansion, right? But now he can go, and I can say it's a absolutely Merry Christmas for Roger Stone, for Manafort, and for Kushner, and well, they are lucky, And I remember when they got imprisoned, or at least had to appear at court, that we felt things were moving in the right direction, right?
Yeah.
And well, the only thing I want to talk about it, we will go on talking a little bit about the so-called Corona stimulus bill and the stimulus checks, and we see a little bit irrational actions of Donald Trump now, demanding that every American would get $2,000. He's kicking some people really deep into the balls by this action. But if Donald Trump really wants to hurt the Republican Party, or Mitch McConnell or the Democrats, he should provoke them and do the following. And please show us slide 30. He should do the following thingy, because this would enrage Republicans as well as Democrats, No, 30, please. It's the, yes, exactly. Yes. Fucking pardon Julian Assange. Then you got everyone. You got everyone upset. You get every attention from everywhere, right?
He'd certainly piss off some Democrats.
Oh, it would piss off so many people. As I said, not only the Republican Party, but also the Democratic Party. But it would be a bang to leave the stage as a president, right? To do such a move. Donnie, think about it. Maybe some of your friends or cronies or whoever is actually accidentally watching this, and yeah, suggest this to Donald Trump. He wants to kick everyone now into the balls who he has the impression he betrayed him, and there are a lot of people, do this. Free Julian Assange.
He looks a little bit like Santa Claus in this picture, doesn't he?
I will look a little bit like him in 3 more weeks, I guess. But this is another topic. No, honestly, this would be a magic trick. This would be the Big Bang wrestling ceremony thingy. And this is exactly the style Donald Trump is doing, right?
I doubt it will happen, though. He mentioned it,
not.
And they were asking him about Snowden, which I also would hope he would pardon, but I don't think that's going to happen. But somebody else that people that were pardoned included murderers that massacred people in Iraq.
Yes.
And that is even completely despicable. It's people who've murdered even children. Like I think the youngest child was like an 8-year-old that was murdered, and to pardon these people as if they're like war heroes, that's not what pardon is supposed to be.
Yes, and it also caught a feedback, from Iraq when this message came out, and the people in Iraq, they are enraged. They don't understand it, because this some historians already compare this massacre in Iraq with the massacre at My Lai in Vietnam at that time.
Yeah,
because it was absolutely not justified. peaceful people, as you said, even children among them, and for a cynical sadism, were killed by those assholes. To pardon them, yes, but this is Trump. This is Donald Trump. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. But it was also interesting, and there's one last thing, who was left out of it, and yeah, poor Michael Cohen, right? Michael Cohen is
Of
out
course.
of it.
Yeah.
And well, it's crazy. It is like, it is like Don Corleone and the Klan, as long as you don't, the omerta, it's the big omerta, if you don't talk to any prosecutors, then the big Don Trumpione will save you. Donione, I don't know.
And
Anyway.
it couldn't be more transparent and obvious, and still he's able to get away with it. And you can't reverse it either.
Yes. And he even, as you say, he even freed the killers, And people who can do this, to civilians, well, they are now in your society again. Those people, in my opinion, are ticking time bombs.
Yeah.
Even in the times of war, who is killing innocent people, well, welcome home. Anyway, we'll see. All right. Yes. The next segment, we have to talk about deals, and we have to talk about no deals. What concerns the deals, we are so happy in Europe, right? The deal is done after long months, after a long time of negotiations. Yes, they gave birth, the proud parents. Joseph and Mary gave birth to Brexit. It was on Holy Evening, and you can see they're very proud. And it is, we here in Germany, I don't know how it is in the rest of Europe, but we in Germany, we could not hear any longer of the fucking Brexit, I think the far majority was of the opinion, let them go finally, We cannot stand it again. We cannot stand it to hear any word of it again. We don't want to see this buffoon, with his 2 thumbs up, God knows where they have been before. And it won't be easy in the future. They got a deal, but the deal, is a very, very limited version of what the British people or the English people were used to, and it will change a lot. But the most important thing for us Europeans in the EU was that we did not endanger our market, because this is, as a matter of fact, the only thing which sticks the European Union together, because values, etc., they are victimized on the altar of capitalism. So the market is the most important thing, and though the European Union is full of mistakes, it is loaded with mistakes. It is the institution which gave us peace in Europe for long decades, and we in Europe, we know how the times were before, and it was not too good that every state in Europe was only looking on itself. I'm talking about nationalism, and that though the reasons we are united are not the reasons I share, at least we are united. It makes different for other countries, or it makes it a need to go to war with other countries anymore. And for this, I think the European Union was a good construct, but of course it has to be developed, and hopefully it can be developed in the right direction regarding climate change and other challenges we have to face here in Europe. But leaving this construct, and only concentrating on own behalves in those times is something which can only hurt a nation, in my opinion. You know, we got to stick together and face all the problems we have together. There is no other reason, and this is why I absolutely regret the decision that the UK is going to leave the European Union finally in a couple of days. The step was already taken last year, but now the duration is up on the 1st of January. It's a wrong decision, definitely. It will cause a lot of problems, unneeded problems, and well, it doesn't help anyone. It makes it even one of the disturbing points is that the UK is now leaving the Erasmus program, which gave on both sides, on the UK side and on European side, young students the opportunity to visit a university anywhere in the European Union, right? And the United Kingdom decided to go out of it, and they want to develop another plan for it. And from what I assume, they would try to search, you know, the super rich and the super rich people, you know, to send their children over there, and this would recruit another elite, you know, coming from elites already, and this will take away a lot of opportunities for other students, not only what the studies concern, but also, you know, meeting each other, you know, talking and learning culture things. And it's a regrettable step, and we will see where it leads. You know, there is absolutely no winner, but as I said, the deal is done. The negotiations are over finally, and well, that's the situation here in Europe. But let's address the no deal. And the no deal, which is in those times, it's crazy that it didn't happen, or didn't happen even earlier. You know, we are talking about the block bill by Donald Trump, who thinks the 900 million bill is not enough. He demands that every American should get $2,000 per month. You know, and well, he's right in the end. You know, he's absolutely right. But as you can imagine, it is tactic only. You know, I think he wants to take revenge of some people he feels betrayed of, like Mitch McConnell, like many others, and by putting this number on the GOP, you know, and trying to push them out, to punish them with it, to bring them in a very uncomfortable situation, even regarding the senator elections in Georgia. It is remarkable, you know, and also it is remarkable that the Democrats, you know, directly, seemingly jump on the train, you know, to do this. But we all know you cannot expect a $2,000 check from the Democrats, you know, because you got people, for example, like Amy Kay, right? And I would like you to roll the clip first before we go on.
Is there a clip? That's not a clip, though.
Yes.
Oh.
No, below 44.
Okay.
And well, this. Okay, run it first, and then I ask my question.
Senator, let me also ask you about the other breaking news story that we are following tonight, which is that the president is threatening to veto the COVID relief bill. It took 9 months to get this bill. For all of its shortcomings and all of its failures, it's the only help the American people have had against the devastation of COVID for 9 months. And now he's saying that he's going to veto it. There is some nuance to it, with him saying that he wants a larger size payment to the American people, which is something that Democrats argued for at every step of the process. And now House Democrats say, okay, well, if that's what he wants, we'll provide him with that. I wonder just what you make of this very last minute scramble of what we thought was going to proceed here with this relief bill.
I kept thinking tonight, well, these pardons are an attack on our very democracy. This is an attack on every American. People who are struggling to get by right now, out of work, whose the unemployment is going to basically end the day after Christmas.
Yeah, you can
if
already
this
stop
doesn't
there.
pass. People who are out of work, people who need the help, the vaccine distribution.
Yeah. Well, okay. I would like to ask you guys, would you like to be, would you rather be like to be attacked by, to be mildly attacked by $600, or would you really be brutally and heavily attacked by $2,000? But there you got Amy Klobuchar, and I'm sorry, that I don't have the skills, to Photoshop it, but I would love to see not a Christmas tree behind her, but a big double door refrigerator. Because this is the same bullshit we once heard from Nancy Pelosi, It's an attack on every American in a pandemic, in a crisis, to get $2,000. Really? And she is standing there. She is smiling, she has a broad smile in her face. She is happy. She has a fancy, beautiful Christmas tree behind her. For in her world, everything is okay, right?
Yeah.
But from what world was this woman elected? And if those people who elected her, next time they should rethink it, They should rethink that this politician, whose job would be to work for the constituents, to be someone who is in charge of. She clearly says in the middle of a pandemic, in the middle of a crisis, at Christmas, no, fuck you, you don't get it. What's your take from this, Amos? What do you think about this? How should we react? How should an American react to this?
So, I think there's a subtle distinction between a position of Republicans, congressional Republicans and Democrats. I mean, establishment Democrats, and that is that establishment Democrats don't necessarily object to giving people aid or money. They just their priorities are screwed up. They will trade this in with something that helps large corporations and wealthy people and their donors in a blink of an eye. And that is our criticism of them. Not that they would happily give also poor Americans relief. The Republicans won't even do that. But that's our criticism. Not that they would act against the interest of the people. It's just that it's not important enough. It's not at a level important enough. That's not the primary concern. It's not enough to stop a bill and hold up a bill that relieves corporations or other people, or three martini lunch acts, clauses and stuff like that. It's not enough.
Yeah, it is not enough, well, but she's, I mean, what does she think? She is going on TV with this message. She must be very, very secure that her constituents buy this crap, right? She must be absolutely convinced by this.
That just shows you the disconnect.
That she on Christmas can go to a TV show, stand there, and coming up with this, right?
Yeah.
And this is incredible, and if Jimmy Dores or others or me or who else, are calling politician names, well, this woman deserves to be called out. She is heartless, cruel, and it is absolutely clear who she's working for, not for her constituents. And they should have it in mind. This is a kind of politicians we got to get rid of, who got to get voted out. Right?
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy times. Anyway, well, we are nearly at the end, right? We only got the sweet stuff left.
Okay. All right. Should we?
Yes. It's coal, man. I'm banning coal next year.
Yeah.
The progressive politics, yeah. Next year. Medicare for all, next year. Yeah. Yes, and there's social distancing, yeah. Personally, I've been in favor of social distancing for a long time.
Yep.
Oh, poor guys. Yeah, and this is a very, very bitter cartoon, but also very fitting. I thought they'd be jumping for joy. Yeah. This is exactly what I said before, Your government is not working for us. They don't even recognize you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disconnect. And overturning the election, Trump's last shot.
I think Santa will put him over his knee and spank his ass.
Yeah, well. All right, so.
Thank you.
And this is the Titanic. And we can see all the claims that go with that.
Nobody can force me to wear a life jacket.
It's dry here. Sinking is a hoax.
If I drink fuel, it won't freeze. Yeah, absolutely right.
Yeah, and the lifeboat industry is funding this.
Yeah, of course. So. The lifeboat industries with the little holes inside, right?
Yes, exactly. But that's the state of our discourse. We just don't. Everybody's like making claims. There's nothing, no reference anymore for anything.
Yeah.
And there's your next Home Depot project, I think.
Yes, we would need them. So, do-it-yourself projects and ideas. Yeah.
I love do-it-yourself projects.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are at the end of the show already. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was our Christmas, not so Christmas-like special Christmas show. What a long title. And thank you very much for tuning in, for your very, very active discussion in chat. It was great. Oh, by the way, Amos, please don't forget that you make the chat visible, once the video is uploaded again.
Isn't it visible? I thought it was visible.
It was deactivated. Maybe you can activate it again.
I'll check.
All right.
Also, if you guys noticed...
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the progressive update, of course.
No, before that, as you guys may have noticed, we've started cutting the programs down to issues, so that if you miss the program on Saturday and you find this particular segment interesting, you can just watch that, and I've seen a lot of you have done that, so that's cool. And also check out that last segments about Warnock and Loeffler and Perdue versus Ossoff. The elections is heating up. There's actually news that they may be actually closing the gap, and they may be in position to win this, especially because Republicans are in complete disarray about believing the conspiracy theories that the fraud was real, and so they're going to boycott. Some people are going to boycott the vote. Some people are not. Nobody's clear what's going to happen. So who knows?
Yeah.
But share this. This is, I guess this is my contribution to trying to affect that election. Spread the news, spread the information. So Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the last day of Christmas. And I guess we'll see us next year, Amos, right?
Yep.
Right. Okay. Next week, next year, another year.
Next year.
2020.
Yep.
No joke.
Happy New Year.
Yeah. And well, enjoy the days, enjoy the year's change, and stay safe, and see you next week. We are going out with a New York band, Nader Surf, alternative rock, and I think the title is quite fitting. It's So Much Love. Yeah, share it. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ready, boys? Yeah. Let's try this one, shall we?
Any day, any hour, not feeling fine. The weight of the world must have ripped my mind. I can't find the thread and I cannot glide. I need a toe up to clear blue sky. Out of thin air there's an inner smile. Reminds me to search for a secret dive. It's always a reach hiding in plain sight. I always forget, but it's always right. So much love in the air, so much love, it's always there. How much love trapped inside? So much love, show it some light. The world is all flavors all the time. The dark ages had the same sunny skies. In the summer of love we were at war. We have all these feelings, don't know what for. It's not easy to choose, but it can be done. You're never alone, not the only one. Just trying to be good and be less fake, but not beat myself up when I make mistakes. So much love, I can feel so much love. It must be real. How much love I can't say, just know I need to get out of its way. So much love for your friends when you feel off, think of them. So much love in your dreams, so much love in the days in between. Feel that love, it must be true. So much love, it's what we do. Any day, any hour, not feeling fine. The weight of the world must have ripped my mind. So much love in the air, so much love, it's always there. How much love I can't say, just know I need to get out of its way. I'll fight to stay open, I'll fight to stay wild. I'll seek better nature, I'll find it like a child. How much love do you need? If you look hard, it's in all you see. How much love do you want? It won't let you down, it's never gone. So much love, I can feel so much love. It must be real. How much love trapped inside? So much love, show it some light.
Thank you very much.
Discover new music at listener-powered KEXP.org.